Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you had a great holiday. I myself had a pretty good one. I spent it alone, which honestly, I know could sound sad, but it was pretty great. After spending 2 months around people, constantly on tour, it was nice to have some peace and quiet. Got a couple cool things for Christmas, as I hope all of you guys did too. So I've seen a few other creators do this already, going through their end of year guitar collection, and I thought it would be a really fun video to do myself, and maybe even one where you guys kind of get to know me a little bit more. And also I just want to say too, really quick, I know I don't have a huge following. I still have less than 1,000 subscribers, but I just want to say thank you so much to the 800 something of you that are subscribed to me. And if my content is something that you like and you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please give this video a like, please subscribe. It definitely helps me out, and you know, I just really want to get to know you guys. I really want to build a strong community here in one way or another. But yeah, without further ado, let's start talking about some guitars. All right, so first off, we're gonna start with my Schecter PT SLS Elite. And for those of you that don't know, I am a Schecter endorsed artist, so most of my guitars, if not pretty much all of them, are going to be Schecters. But yeah, we're gonna start off with this guy. This is one of two of the first couple models that I got from Schecter when I first started playing their stuff and was first endorsed by them in, I think, like 2020 or 2021. I was still playing for Point North, and I think it was going into 2021. It was around Christmas of like 2020 or something like that I got endorsed by them. And then I used them for the first time when we opened up for A Day to Remember. But this has like a really cool antique fade finish. It is gloss. I'm not a huge fan of gloss. I like satin finishes more. But this guitar is beautiful, and it hasn't gotten as much stage time as it deserves. I don't know if you can see the finish that well on my B cam over here. It's also got Fishman Moderns in it. It has a hip shot bridge. I believe it's an ebony fretboard. I could be wrong. It's 24 frets. It's stainless steel frets. Mother of pearl inlays, the offset dots. It also has locking tuners on the back. They're just Schecter locking tuners, and it has a, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-piece neck. Good thing I can count. And it's neck through. You can see it has the wings, which I believe is swamp ash. And the back is honestly just as beautiful as the front. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this guitar. It has like the voice 1, voice 2, push-pull for the coil tap for the Fishmans, and then a 3-way switch. So the next guitar that I have is a Schecter Solo 2 Blackjack. This one has seen the stage so many times. I've used this in Point North. I used this when I played with Widcon. I've used this for like pretty much any band that I would play like a 6-string drop C sharp in. And this one's a little gross right now. I don't know if you can see it or if you'll be able to see it on like my B cam, but you probably can't, but you can probably see it a little bit. It looks kind of gross on the pickups and right here. That's because the beginning of this year, I used this on tour with a band called Unwell. They're friends of mine from Detroit, and we opened for the Amity Affliction. And at the very last show in Chico, California, I'm missing my toggle switch cap up here, and I strummed up just right and took a chunk out of my thumb on this. So the pickups and the body are still covered in my blood from that show. I have a couple picks framed that are just covered in blood because I just kept having to grab different picks because they just kept getting slippery with all my blood. I was just bleeding so bad, but I did whatever I could to get through the set. But yeah, I should probably restring this and clean the blood off this at some point. It's kind of gross, kind of metal, I guess, but pretty gross. But to go on about the specs, just gloss black finish. Again, not a huge gloss fan, but it is what it is. Push pull for a coil tap, just 3 knobs, I think 2 volume, 1 tone. It has Lundgren M6s in it, so I use this guitar so much for that reason. because those just sound incredible. Just your standard, what is it, tunematic bridge. I believe this is 22 frets, and it is stainless steel frets as well. I think pretty much everything I have is stainless steel frets. And then I'm not sure if it's a rosewood. I think it's a rosewood fretboard on this one. Three-way switch, which I need to get a cap for. It also has locking tuners on the back. It has the satinized neck that Schecter does, which I really like. It is a set neck instead of a neck through. You can see that I have beaten this thing up like crazy. The strap button is like kind of pulling out from how wild I go on stage with all my spins and stuff. I took a chunk out of the back here and had to sand it down so it's all road worn. I think there's like another spot like on a horn right here where that happened. It has like the nice cream binding on it on the headstock, neck, and body. And I honestly, like, I love this guitar. I'm not a big like Les Paul like single cut shape guy other than Telly's at all. And I didn't really think that I would play this all that much when I got it. But this has probably been my most played guitar from Schecter since I've been with them. Since it's one of the first two that I got, this and the PT. And yeah, this has seen the stage probably more than any of my other guitars, and it definitely shows. So we'll just keep going with my 6 strings for right now. This is another one that I got. It's a more recent one. I got it last year when I played with Greywind. I got it for that tour. Just kind of fit their vibe more. But this is their Stargazer model, and it's kind of like Rickenbacker-y, but I like that. I like the weird, almost like vintagey shape. I love like vintage kind of like modern vintage shape guitars, especially for like heavy music and stuff. I just kind of like the juxtaposition of it all, I suppose. I'm not too sure what the pickups are in this. I know they're Schecter pickups. They are very hot, and I really like the sound of them. They just sound mean. They're very bitey, and they are a very fun pair of pickups to have in this guitar. And then I believe this has push-pull as well. The single coil sounds great on this. 3-way toggle, volume, tone, and then 22 frets on this as well. Not sure if these are stainless steel, to be honest. They might not be. And then we have like the Perloid block inlays that look great. No locking tuners. That's probably the one thing I would change on this. It's just like regular tuners on the back. And then also not a satin neck. It is a gloss neck in the back, which I am not the biggest fan of normally, but I don't really mind it on this guy. It never really like affected my playing or anything like that, so it's not too bad. I wouldn't mind if it was satin, honestly. I would like that, but it is what it is. I don't play the 6 strings enough to really want to like mod it out, but this is a really great guitar. I believe I brought this on tour with me with Unwell too. But yeah, I hope that I get to use this for more projects in the future. I really like this guitar, and it doesn't get played enough, that's for sure. And moving on to the last of my, I guess technically it's not the last of my 6 strings, but the last of my like standard scale length 6 strings would be my Jack Fowler Strat from Schecter. And this is definitely on the more affordable ends, especially for like a signature guitar from them. But this thing is a freaking workhorse, dude. I've used this on a bunch of tours and it's dinged up. You can definitely see that it's like been out there and seen battle. But this, like, as well as my like Solo 2 has just gotten used so much. It's so versatile and it just feels like rock solid. It sounds great. I can't remember the pickups in here either. I know that they're like a pretty standard set of Schecter pickups. They sound really good. I would say like kind of comparable to maybe like some like Gibson style like humbuckers, and then it also has like a push pull, and then it has like the vintage kind of style knobs, volume, tone here. I love the open pore satin black finish. I think it is gorgeous. I love the tortoiseshell pickguard because who doesn't love that combination? This has I think it's an ebony fretboard. It might be rosewood. I'm not too sure, to be honest. It looks great though. It's beautiful. 22 frets, stainless steel. It's got locking tuners on this one. See it in my B cam. And it's got a roasted maple neck. And I gotta say, roasted maple is probably one of my favorite neck materials other than Wenge. I like Wenge a lot too. I love the feel of them. They just feel great. They feel rock solid. It is a bolt-on, and I don't really have a preference between like set neck, neck through, or bolt-on. I'm not super picky when it comes to like specs on guitars. Like the pickiest thing I am, or the thing that I'm like most picky about, I guess, would probably be finishes, because aesthetics mean a lot to me, especially being like a hired gun kind of guy. I like to have like guitars that either like can fit a bunch of different genres, or have guitars that fit like genre A, genre B, so on and so forth. Just so I'm like prepared for any situation. And then I just like stuff that looks cool, because who doesn't, honestly? But yeah, I'm not like super picky about a lot of stuff. Like for the 6 strings, it's fine, 22 frets. I prefer 24 and locking tuners, and that's probably like, other than pickups, like what I'm most picky about. Like, I don't know, if it plays good, it is good. That's how I feel. But yeah, that's it for like my 6 strings pretty much. And we're gonna move into the extended range stuff now. All right, so we will start off the extended range stuff with my Hellraiser Bass 6. This is the C6 Hellraiser, I think is what it's called. And it has the classic Schecter, like see-through black cherry finish with the, what is it, abalone, I don't know how to pronounce it. The binding, I don't know why I was blanking on that, but yeah, it has like that binding on it. The classic Schecter, like headstock shape. It's got locking tuners in the back. It does have a matching gloss neck. Again, not the biggest fan of like the gloss stuff, but I mostly use this just for studio funsies and whatnot. So it doesn't like bother me too much. And then it has Tunematic bridge. Right now it has the stock EMGs in it. I don't know exactly what model off the top of my head the EMGs are. I am going to be switching them out for some Fishmans at some point. I just haven't decided if I want to do the open core moderns or like the regular moderns and whatnot, or if I want to do like a signature set, like maybe the Matt Heafy or something. Could sound cool in this. But yeah, and then it's got like the cool like Gothic cross inlays on it. 24 frets. I don't know if this is stainless steel frets. I'm gonna assume that it's stainless steel frets. And yeah, of course, it's a bass 6, so it is a 30-inch scale length. I guess I should probably mention that. And that's pretty much it. It does the thing. It chugs, it gents, it does the load thing, and I absolutely love it. All right, so this is my Schecter CV5 bass. I actually got this in a trade. I traded another guitar that I had that I just wasn't playing, didn't really want. I traded it to someone that I found on Facebook Marketplace for this CV5 because I haven't had like a real bass in a minute, and I wanted something to have just for like the, few times that I decide that I actually want to track like real bass on stuff, because I do program bass mostly and kind of have like a workflow down with that. Plus I play in really low tunings like drop E, drop F sharp a lot, and this can't really handle that. It's only a 35-inch scale bass, so I can't tune it down that low properly. The lowest I can really get it is like G. So I usually only use this when I'm tracking stuff on my 7s in like drop A, drop G. But it is a pretty sick guitar. It's got the gloss sunburst or tobacco burst finish with the black pickguard. A little more like vintage kind of classic vibes for my taste, but I do really like the guitar. And again, I got it in a trade, so I can't complain. It's got the maple neck. It's got 22 frets, I believe. Again, it's 35-inch scale length. And it has like the black offset dot inlays. The pickups, I'm not sure what they're called, but they have like a couple different switches. We have like the 3-way toggle, so like bridge, both of them, and then neck. But then you can also use these switches. I don't remember exactly what they do in great detail, but I know like they can control like the pickups being split as well as running in series or parallel with one another. I have not played with them that much. I am not that big brain when it comes to it, so I'm not too sure. I'd have to like pull up the specs in like the diagram to be 100% sure on that, which I know is on their website. I am just going to be lazy and not do it. But you can get a lot of different like tonal combinations with just this one bass, and it sounds pretty freaking mean when you run it through like a guitar amp or like a guitar amp sim and whatnot. I think this thing is kind of a versatile beast. And lastly, it just is a bolt-on neck as well. And that is pretty much it for the CV5. All right, so next up we have my Reaper 7 MS Elite, something like that. First off, I want to say I love the reverse headstock on this. I wish Schecter would do more of like the kind of like stratty, like vintage modern like headstocks like this, whether it's reverse or normal. I love the way they look, especially on their strat type bodies. This also has hip shot, open gear tuners on it, and I really like those a lot. I also really like the detail up here on the headstock where it's got the Schecter logo, but it's like the finish isn't, it's just got like the wood there instead of the finish. I think that looks really nice. And then it has like a nice, I forget, it's like ocean, something like that. It's like the finish is called like ocean something, but it's this nice like quilted like blue fade finish. It's very beautiful. It looks amazing. I don't know if you can see it like super well on camera or not, but it looks great. And it's also like on the back. It's not quilted on the back, but the blue looks really good. It's multi-scale, of course, and it's got like the hip shot multi-scale bridge. I am missing a knob, and it does have push-pull. I just need to replace that at some point. I think it just fell off somewhere on our last tour or something like that. Just volume tone, 3-way switch. I believe these are called like the San Andreas pickups from Schecter. And originally I didn't like them that much. They felt kind of muddy to me, but after playing it on our tour in the summer and like using it to like rehearse for this tour that we just did, I kind of take it back. I like them a lot now. They, for whatever reason, don't sound muddy to me like they did before. Maybe it was just the presets or like sims I was running them through, but I think it sounds really good. And then this is also a neck through. I'm not too sure what the body wings are. If it's not Swamp Ash, I know they use Swamp Ash a good amount. If it's not Swamp Ash, it's probably like Alder or something like that. But it has a Wenge neck. And again, I absolutely love like the Wenge necks. It just feels so smooth, feels really good. This particularly has like a very thin neck, and I am a big fan of like the thin necks from them. It feels great. It's 24 frets, stainless steel frets. I really like these like line inlays that they have going on. I don't know exactly like what they're called, but I think they look sick. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Reaper. This doesn't get used as much as it should. Oh, and it has I believe it has like the lumen lay side dots as well, which is really nice on stage when you don't have solid lighting. But yeah, I don't use this enough. It kind of just comes out with me as a backup guitar at this point, but it rips. And when I do use it, I really enjoy using it. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one now. All right, so this one I just got recently. I had picked it up for our tour that we just did with Set It Off. And this is the Banshee Mach 7 with the Evertune. And I was never a huge Evertune fan before. I don't really know why. I just didn't really love them until I got this guitar. Now I kind of want all of my guitars to have one, especially after touring with it. I gotta tell you, not tuning like between songs, like in a set, and just like really being able to just be in that set and like not like having one less thing to like worry about was so nice. It was so nice. And I don't think I could play another show without this. I mean, I could, but I wouldn't like it. And yeah, other than the Evertune, we've got a 3-way switch, and then we have the volume and tone. The tone is push-pull for the single coil mode, which I really like on this guitar. Currently, this has the M7s from Lundgren in it. I am going to swap them out with Fishman's. It's going to be the Javier Reyes set that I just got from them because I just became a Fishman artist. So I'm going to be swapping out a few pickups in a couple of my guitars, especially for tour. But I'm going to put the Javier Reyes set in here. And I'm really excited to hear how those sound in this guitar, actually, because when I listened to the demo for them, they sounded very articulate and had a lot of like clarity to them. So I'm really excited to hear how they sound. Other than the pickups, we have this, I guess it's a quilted top here, and it's kind of like this reverse like burst fade kind of thing. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks beautiful. It's satin, so that just ticks boxes right there for me. I love satin finishes, 24 frets, stainless steel frets. It's got the offset Roman numeral inlays, which I'm actually a really big fan of. I kind of thought that they would be like a little cheesy, but I have them on another guitar, and I really like the way they look. And then we have I'm not too sure what this neck is. It looks like roasted maple with, I think it's like I'm gonna say this wrong, but the padauk. I don't know how to pronounce it, but with those strips in like the middle, so it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-piece neck. It looks like, and it's got the strips I think are like the padauk, whatever that padauk. I don't know, however it's pronounced. And then the back is also like very beautiful and whatnot. And then again, we have the reverse headstock, which I'm a big fan of. And this one just has Schecter locking tuners on it. And they look great. And then again, up here too, where the finish breaks, but it's just like a satin black. I think that looks fantastic. All in all, this is probably one of my favorite guitars that I own. I genuinely like playing my 8 strings when I'm home a lot, but I find myself grabbing this a ton. I can't put it down. I really love the way that this thing feels, plays, sounds, everything. This guitar is an absolute 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah. And then another, just real quick before I move on to the next one, another thing that I'm a big fan of, it has the spoke wheel for the truss rod down at the bottom of the neck, and I just wish every guitar had that. It's just so much easier, especially for like quick adjustments. You don't have to like deal with the cover up there and all that fun stuff. Yeah, every guitar should have that. All right, so the next guitar in my collection is going to be my Schecter John Brown Signature. It's the 8-string model, the Tau 8, and it's one of the OG versions. So it's not the ozone burst purple or the blue. It's just the flamed maple, or like the flamed top, the purple. And I love the finish. I'm a big fan of purple. I love the way it looks. Again, satin, hip shot bridge, the Colossus and Chaos Breaker signature John Brown pickups from them are in here as well. And this is one that I want to put some Fishmans in too. I think I kind of want to just do the open core moderns, like maybe the zebra ones. I think that could look pretty cool. I do like these pickups a lot, but they are pretty harsh in the mid-range in my opinion. So I always have to do a lot of like surgical EQ in the DAW when I'm like tracking stuff. But all in all, this thing sounds great. It's got push-pull with just the one volume knob here. The single coil on these sounds absolutely insane. I love playing this with the coil tap on. And then we just have the 3-way low pro switch, which is really great. Again, truss rod down at the neck and 24 stainless steel frets. There's no inlays on this. It's very clean. Sometimes that kind of trips me up when I'm playing, but after I've played on this for a while, I get pretty used to it and it's pretty easy. It does have lumen lay side dots on the top, which is nice. It has Hipshot open gear locking tuners. I really like the headstock on this guy too. It is kind of like their classic headstock, but it does have like a cap on top. I think that's what you would call it. It just looks really clean. And then the Schecter logo right down the middle. It looks really nice. And then this is a bolt-on as well, and it's a swamp ash body. It's a very, very thin body. Very, very thin. And that's actually something I'm a very big fan of with it as well. The heel access, the heel cut down here is fantastic. It is a Wenge neck. It is a 5-piece Wenge neck, and I think it is either Purple Heart or like the Padauk, whatever the heck you want to call it, for the stripes down the middle, whatever you want to call those. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this guitar. Swamp ash body, if I didn't say that already. String through, of course. And yeah, that is the John Brown Tau 8. It's one of my favorite guitars that I have from Schecter. I love playing this thing. It is a freaking beast. All right, so now we have another 8-string. This is the Schecter SLS Elite Evil Twin 8-string. That's a mouthful for sure. This was the first 8-string I ever got from Schecter. I mostly got it because my band Phantom Code switched to using 8 strings for our stuff. We mostly just play in drop E, but every now and then we'll do like drop D or double drop D, whatever you want to call it. And then I also use this on a project for writing some stuff for a friend of mine. Her project is called Violet, and I wrote a whole record for her, and a lot of that was written on this. This has the Fishman Moderns in it, and these are actually the 9-string set of the Fishman Moderns that are on this guitar, but because it's multi-scale, they kind of like fit a little bit better on the guitar. It has push-pull for the voice 1, voice 2, and the split on the volume and tone. It has the toggle switch. It's a 3-way hip shot bridge, multi-scale, 24 stainless steel jumbo frets. It has lumen lays on the side, I believe, as well. And then it also has the Roman numeral inlays on the guitar. And I actually really like the Schecter headstock on this guitar in particular. I think it actually like goes with the flow of this guitar really well. I believe it is a swamp ash body, or the wings are swamp ash at least. It is a neck through, and it is a 7-piece neck. I don't know what the other like parts of the neck are, the other pieces of wood. I'd have to look it up, but it looks absolutely beautiful on the back here. You have like the battery compartment and everything, and then great access down to the higher frets as well. And yeah, this is just a mean machine locking tuners, if I didn't say that already. And then just satin black finish with the cream binding on the sides as well. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is an absolute workhorse. If I were to recommend like a first 8-string for anybody, this one is, or I guess maybe not a first 8-string, but if you were like moving up from your like first 8-string, like your like Ibanez, like RG, or like a Schecter, like Omen, like if you wanted like a more solid like guitar, a more solid 8-string, this is what I would recommend. It's so like versatile with the Fishmans, and it just feels great. The multi-scale, like the intonation holds really, really well on this guitar, and it's just consistent. It plays amazing. It sounds great. Would highly recommend one of these guys. All right, guys, so we're almost to the end of my collection. I only have a few more guitars left, and I just wanted to say, if you made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out with me and nerding out with me about guitars. I think that's why we're all here, because we love gear, we love guitars, we can't get enough of it, we want more of it. But yeah, I really appreciate you hanging out. Let me know in the comments like what guitar in my collection has been your personal favorite. Let me know what guitar in your collection is your personal favorite, or what guitar you would love to add to your collection. I would really like to know. I would love to get to know you guys a little bit more, and as I said, build this like really fun community together. But we'll keep it moving. In my lap right now, I have my Schecter Keith Merrow. It's the KM7 EX Baritone. This is probably another one in my top 3 for like my favorite guitars. I actually got this sent to me on our tour this past summer with Honey Revenge. I may have messed up a couple of my guitars. The couple of guitars that I had brought out with me got like damaged, and I needed another like main or backup really bad, and I reached out to see if I could have something sent to me just to like help me out at the time. And my guy was very, very gracious enough to help me out and get this sent out. Like, I don't know if it was overnight, but like 2-day. It was like a couple stops out, and I ended up like picking it up at a FedEx by the venue that we were playing, and I ended up playing this the rest of the tour. This thing sounds fucking amazing. It's got a Lundgren Black Heaven in it. That's the only pickup it has in it, and I think that pickup sounds great personally. Again, I am with Fishman now, so I am going to swap this out like the Lundgrens in my Banshee. I'm going to put an Abasi bridge pickup in here because Nico from Fame on Fire on the last tour had the Dan Schemo model, which has an Abasi in the bridge, and I thought that sounded incredible. So I feel like, especially with the 28-inch scale length on this 7-string, I think the Abasi in there is going to sound amazing. A few other specs about this: it's got the hip shot IB, however it's pronounced, bridge, so tuning stability is top notch. I honestly would love an Evertune in this, but the body is super thin, so I don't know if I'd even be able to get an Evertune in this guy. One of my favorite things ever: no knobs, no volume, no tone, just toggle switch, just kill switch, on, off. That's all you need. I don't need volume, I don't need a tone. I'm a simple guy. This also has an open pore satin black finish. I love the way that this looks. I love that you can see the grain of the wood. I've even got some like chips in it and stuff already from playing live, and I kind of really like the way that it looks as it's like relicking. I think this guitar, like over the years, is going to just look so good. I think it's gonna age like wine. One of the things that I don't really like is that the strap button is on the back of the horn back here. It's not my favorite thing, but I get it because the horn is like really thin. I don't think you could really put the strap button up there, but you know, it is what it is. It's my least favorite thing on the guitar, but you know, it's certainly not the end of the world. Again, I'm not super picky. Just sometimes I feel like because I use like the shallower strap buttons, it can kind of like go into my body. But that is the price I pay for being a wild person on stage. And then I believe this is all neck through as well, all one piece. Great heel access, great cutaway for the upper frets. It has the like circle inlays, the offsets, and I think those look cool. It's got lumen lays on the side as well. Not too sure what the fretboard is. I think it's ebony on this, could be mistaken. And then just has like Schecter locking tuners on it. I really like the Keith Merrow headstock. I think it looks great. And this is another guitar that is just like super thin, very thin, but it's not very heavy. It feels great. It plays great. Easily one of my favorite guitars to play, especially like tracking stuff on and live. It is an absolute workhorse. I freaking love this thing. It looks fantastic and it plays just as fantastic. Certainly not last, and definitely not least, we have my Schecter PT8 Black Ops, and this thing is a freaking beast. You gotta just love an 8-string telly, all murdered out, all black. We just have a volume knob. We have a 3-way switch. The 3-way switch is voice 1, voice 2, and voice 3 for coil tap, because this is a Fishman open core modern. And I think it's one of my favorite pickups from Fishman. I think this is one of like the best sounding ones that they have. I really like the coil tap on this, and I actually just really like how all of the voicings sound. I primarily stay in voice 1 or do the coil tap, but I really like the way it sounds. I love the black pick guard on the black body. Again, it's another satin open pore black finish. Big fan of that. Really love the way that looks. It is absolutely gorgeous. I believe ebony fretboard on this. No inlays on this guy either. Very clean. Lumen lay side dots. And this I have set up in drop D. All my other 8 strings are in drop E. Multi-scale, as you can see. And I know a big question is, because this is multi-scale and the pickup is just straight across and not angled with the strings, if it affects the tone largely with the guitar. And I've answered this question a few times with people. Personally, I don't think it affects the tone at all. I haven't had any issues with the tone being too muddy, or anything that I can't just like sculpt a little easily with some EQ to where I want it to sit in the mix or how I want it to sound. I think this guitar sounds absolutely great. I think the open core sounds great. This also has locking tuners in the back. The only thing that I wish was a little different on this guitar is I wish it had I don't mind it having this headstock, but I wish it was reverse like the John Brown. So having this part up here, I feel like it would just flow better with the multi-scale of the neck. But that's kind of just like an aesthetic thing for me. It certainly doesn't affect the guitar in any way. I just think it would look a little nicer, but that's just me. And I guess, like I said, the most picky thing I am with guitars is aesthetics. And then again, this also has like a pretty thin body. You can see like it is like almost paper thin right here. This one definitely has some weight to it. This is a weighty guitar, and it is also one piece, as you can see. But yeah, this is another one of my like favorites. I really like noodling on this guy a lot. All right, and we have finally reached the end of my guitar collection. And as you can see, this one is indeed not a Schecter. It's an LTD. It's one of the EX models. I think it's just like the EX50. So it's just the cheapest like model you could get. But this one is very sentimental to me, and I got it recently. There's a really cool story behind this one, and I'll try to keep it like short and sweet. But our manager for Ivana lives in Nashville, and while we were on tour over the summer on the Honey Revenge tour, we stayed at his place in Nashville, or at least a couple of us stayed at his place. And I'm one of the only like early birds in the band. I woke up like pretty early, and I was like kind of hanging out, doing my thing, and our manager asked me if I wanted to go like check out some of the guitars that he had in his basement, because obviously I'm a guitarist and he knows that I am a big fan of that stuff, clearly. So we go down, we're like checking out his guitars. He used to do like a lot of like promoting stuff and like putting on like shows and like festivals and stuff like that, like years ago. And for a lot of like the shows and stuff, he was telling me he would like just buy like cheap guitars and have like bands sign them and whatnot. And he was showing me like a few of them, and he handed me this one, and I was like looking at it. And when I was a kid, I used to have like a bunch of ESP LTD guitars. I was a big Atreyu fan. I was a big like Bullet for My Valentine fan, so I loved like all the pointy stuff and whatnot. Yeah, so he handed me this one, and I kind of like said something like that, like, oh, I used to have like this guitar or one like it when I was a kid. And he was like, oh, he's like, you can have it if you want it. And I was like, oh, dude, like, no way, that's crazy. Like, no way. Like, I know it's like a cheaper thing, but like clearly it's got these signatures on it and stuff. And like he didn't know this by any means, but he goes to me like, oh yeah, I think it's just signed by all the members of Atreyu. Like, he's like, you can take the guitar, you can like wipe the signatures off if you want. And I literally like just sat there holding this, looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, these are all the signatures from Atreyu. That was like, I literally I started to tear up, and I like told him, I was like, dude, that was like one of my like favorite bands as like a teenager. They got me into like, they were one of the bands that got me into like metalcore. So this was just like a crazy, I'm kind of like getting emotional thinking about it right now, but it's just a crazy, like almost like full circle, like serendipitous type of like moment. But it's honestly like one of those things that like made me feel like man, maybe I really am like meant to be like where I am and like be on tour and play music and do this stuff for like a living. Like, you know, I do want to like throw it out there. I'm not rich by any means. I am like just getting by like most people. Like, I live in LA and it's not cheap, but I'm like, you know, I'm paying my bills and I'm getting by. I'm certainly not like driving like a BMW or whatever. Like, I'm not rich, is basically what I'm getting at. But yeah, like, I don't do it for the money. I don't do it to get rich. I do it for the fucking love of the game, and because I'm a tortured creative soul that has to do this shit. But this guitar means a lot. I don't even know the specs on this thing. Whenever I move into my new place next year with my partner and have like a dedicated studio space again, this will be getting mounted on the wall somewhere in that studio. It will be on display for sure. I will clean it up and like probably restring it and stuff before then as well. But this just meant a lot to me, that like even without him knowing, he gave me a guitar signed by one of my favorite bands as a teenager. So this is not ever going to leave my collection. This means a lot to me, and I think this is a really great piece to end this video on. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out, and thanks for listening to my little emotional story there. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great new year. I hope you have a great 2026, and I hope you all have like great success. I hope you all just have the best year of your lives. And with that, I'm gonna say peace out. Happy New Year, guys. Bye.